guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we have Mr. Mahavir Modi over here, who is an experienced individual in the sector of finance, banking and economy. Thank you so much, sir, for coming down.
Thank you, ma'am, for having me. It's always my pleasure.
How are you keeping, sir?
I'm doing well, ma'am. Just hoping for a good 2025 as 2024 was there.
Right. With everything going around, including the elections and the world economy, what is your take on 2024's economy as well as the upcoming year 2025?
I think, ma'am, 2024 was a very dynamic year. You had elections all over the world. Now, Mr. Donald J. Trump is coming. You will have a big differentiation, a tariff war coming. Then people are just waiting for 20th Jan, how he takes it off and the Oval Office in Washington, D.C. Then we will see how it takes forward. That is where I think the Indian government is also looking at a stand and they will take their own call on the economy. That is what is my take right now. They are just seeing what is going around and they will have a take on the things accordingly from there.
Right. Now talking about our country, India specifically.
Right, ma'am?
As we are the largest growing economy. What's your take on that topic?
Ma'am, India is the largest fast growing economy for the last 3 years because there are certain parameters where India has done really well. First of all, coming out of the pandemic, COVID pandemic, doing the vaccination program, I think that was done fantastically well by the government of India and the people of India. I think kudos to all of the Indians who were there, who were involved there. Secondly, I think the reforms that we have had over the last decade, the government bringing the GST bill, the government bringing the technologies of the UPI, and the other thing is the banking code, the insolvency code that has come in. That has helped to bring a lot of people into the formal economy. That is the reason that the Indian economy took off very right away after the pandemic. That is the one reason you will see that, and the government spending, basically, government spending a lot of money on the infrastructure and the other things. That is one reason that India has grown from 8%, 7%. That is where we are seeing the Indian economy heading towards to 5 trillion in the next 2 to 3 years.
That's great to hear. Now talking about money, as we come down to numbers, where does India stand on the world entire list?
So as you talk about the world fast, India is the 5th largest economy in the world. Out of you have US with a $27 trillion economy. Then you have the Chinese economy, which is an 18 or 19 trillion, whichever you look at a stat. Third, you will have a Japan. Fourth, you have a Germany. And fifth, you will have the India with the 5th largest economy. India will be overtaking Japan next year. Then it will be taking Germany in 2027 over, and then it will take over. Then it will be a three-way horse between India, America, and China to look at the world economy.
Okay, now coming down to India once again,
Right,
comparing them to different states as well as countries.
Right.
How far do you think India will grow in terms of money?
Right now, you look at India. India's per capita income is around $2,500 to $3,000 in country as an economy. It's a country moving from a lower start of the income to a lower middle income country. When your country grows from a $10,000 to $20,000 income, you can say that your country is growing faster. And once it reaches up to a $30,000 economy, then you can say that your country has grown well. So you can say in India there are 4 kinds of India: who have a lot of money, where people are having okay money, decent money, and people are striving to have more money. So in India, you will have people from 4 or 5 different classes who aspire to have money. So that is how India is, which has been there, where you will see people from different verticals of the society coming up and wanting to take part in the growth story of India.
With so much growth happening in India, what sectors do you think will benefit the most out of it?
So you see, as you know, semiconductor industry, government has just come out with a new policy for the semiconductor policy, where the PLI scheme has come up, where all the semiconductor companies had come to India. That's a one amazing industry where people can look at it. Second is the agriculture, where agriculture, as we are entering into multipolar world, agriculture industry is a very good industry to get into. Third is manufacturing. As my whole family is into textile industry, looking at the situation in Bangladesh, you will see that the textile segment is moving to Vietnam and India. So that's a one industry where I will surely recommend people to get into there. The other industry that I will always say is tech industry. Tech industry, if you have good knowledge, surely you can have a tech career going forward, because India is a land of tech. You see a lot of tech booming out of it and coming out of it. And rest is sports is one industry you will have. People don't say about it, but now sport industry in India is so big now. You see sport leagues coming up so many in India. You have the ISL, other than the IPL, you have the Pro Kabaddi League, You have the wrestling league. You have tens of leagues which are there in India where a lot of sports can be played and a lot of money can be earned other than cricket. Where people don't talk about it, but this is a big industry to get in. This is what I generally say to people. First of all, I tell people as an individual, if they want to take up a career in anywhere, first you should understand what are your strengths and weaknesses, and then look up to something where you want to get into. That is very important.
That was a great chunk of knowledge to hear and know about. Now talking about the youngsters, which are basically half the population of our country.
Right, ma'am?
And to guide them as well, what do you think that will help them coming forward?
First of all, people should be aware of the current affairs that are going around. That is very much, I think that Gen Z, as you all call yourself, are not aware about what is going around, what is the things happening around the world. So you see a lot of churning out of the old things. So sorry. Old things coming to new things, where India is the pivot of the world. For India to remain the pivot of the world, I think there are two necessary important things that in India an individual has to take care. First is he has to upgrade himself, and I think the education system needs to improve a lot. Where the industry people are wanting people ready-made. They don't have time to train people, but they want ready-made people. That is the skill set is very important. I think skill-based individual people will have to be developed by the government, where government has taken this initiative of Skill India. But I think there is a huge gap between the industry connect and what people's skill sets are there. That is one major difference. I think youngsters need to adapt very quickly, and the curriculum, which is I think needs to help them to make those changes with themselves.
That's really true. Coming down to the G20 summit, which had recently occurred in India.
It was last year, ma'am?
Yeah. And related to that, there were many other events happening. So, what would be your opinion about it?
So, as the G20 happened, the BRICS summit happened. I'll tell you, I think the BRICS is a good forum where all the.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you explain the audience what exactly BRICS is and how important is it in the growing society?
Okay, BRICS is the 5 largest fast-growing economies in the world. B stands for Brazil, R stands for Russia, I stands for India, C stands for China, and S stands for South Africa. Now you have plus other countries which have joined last year, along with in Russia, which happened this year. So I think BRICS, as overall, the overall population, it is 50% of the world's population, along with the 30% of the GDP of the world that is there in the BRICS domain. BRICS as a domain helps the other countries who are having problem with the US and the Western world have another platform where they can raise their voice and get their things done. That is where I think different forums are always welcome for countries who want to raise their voice on different platforms. That would I say.
Is it anything contrasting with the UN?
UN is totally a different thing, ma'am. UN is a body which looks after the different. UN has 207 members, and BRICS right now is around 20 members. So there's a big difference in that.
Thank you so much, sir, for the great, valuable knowledge that you've shared today on our podcast. And we really do look forward for you to come down and share as much of knowledge that you can in the future. As of right now, we'd like to end this conversation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.